dealing with trash. We'll put it that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're running sanitation.
Fun.
I wish it was that simple. Yeah.
I kind of
That's
figured.
not good.
What is it related to the stuff you had me do yesterday or the other day?
I don't want to say too much in the event it turns into like civil action or whatever, but you know, it's you know, some people will steal from children, you know what I mean? And some people will, anyways, it's pretty bad. So anyways. Okay, how y'all doing? I do apologize for being late. It's one thing after another.
I think we're all having one of those days, you know. Like we had a bench trial that was going on for the past hour, and then there's a hag trial going on downstairs. It's just a busy day.
Oh shit! Really? What's the hag trial?
It's Pete Zahut. Which hag? It was one of the
Witness tampering.
Yeah.
Oh damn! Yo, witness tampering sounds crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's the pizza boys that are one of them.
So
we some bail fires to put out. Like there's lots going on today.
Yep, makes sense.
I did want to spark. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was about to say, who wants to kick it off?
Yeah.
Get it, chat? Who wants to
spark this off with the
head on over, chat? The Twitch stream is going to be shutting off shortly. The remainder of the stream will be at Kick. If you haven't tried Kick before, you should. There is no gambling. There is no that bullshit.
Amendment.
All right.
For me personally,
video quality is pretty sick. Head on over. The stream will be shutting off in about 5 minutes. And we'll chat more about like how we stream tomorrow. Do I start
all
on
new
Twitch?
and updated legislation must follow the.
Sorry, give me just 1 second, and this is a part of the emergency I was dealing with.
Okay.
Hey.
Yo, Nino.
Yep. I'm in
Spoke a little bit with the boy. Sorry, I had to go for an event, you know. But listen to me, alright?
Yeah.
Probably like 95%, you know, I'm going to, you know, take care of this puto. You get me?
Yeah.
But I'm going to give him one last, like, you know, like hear out, see what's going on. Because like I said, like it's so hard for me, right, brother? Like I know you, like, you know, you've been my mentor. You know what I'm talking about. Like I have taught shit ton of stuff from you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not only mentor, I also known you for like longer than most people. So like I look at you like a good friend.
Yo, Carter,
at the same time, it's so hard for me because it's like if a guy is a criminal, I can't judge him for being shady, right? But it's kind of like code of ethics. So I see what you mean. You know what I mean?
This is like how do I put this? I'm never gonna fault someone for doing that kind of stuff. This crosses a line 5-10 times beyond that.
Yeah. No,
And,
that's why I'm 95% sure we're gonna take care of, you know.
I would not
by
be
tomorrow.
as annoyed if it wasn't as gross as it was.
No, I know what you mean. This is like the book. Remember many years ago, that type of shit, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
I know what you mean. No, but that's what I mean. Like, I understand your thingy. We're just gonna give him a last talk and, you know, take care of it.
If he, like, brother, I gave him if he was just like, I did this and I know it was fucked, then at least you can walk away and be like, okay, he fucked up. But he just smiles, and it wasn't just the money. It's everything. Like, there's a list of shit he was doing.
Shit, I think,
I think he's just
take
cooked.
care of it.
Yeah.
But listen, 95% sure is cooked.
5 mil, I got you. You know,
bro. Listen, the money was more like, you know, because at the end of the day, he's a hang-around. He's not bodying. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about a hang-around compared to my relationship with people I know for years that have never, you know, betrayed me. You get what I'm saying?
I feel that. I do.
So, but we gotta give him, like, Harry and Lucy are gonna talk to him one last time. By tomorrow, we get you a result, most likely positive. Get it?
Easy. I'm gonna tell you what I left them out on.
Yeah.
Is that I will tell you that the way he did it to us, it would not surprise me if he's been scamming y'all, and he'll have answers for things
Yeah.
But I would really drill into the business you have with him, because I
Yeah.
bet he's fucked you guys. Like,
Well,
that's the
here's
sense I
because
get. Yeah.
This is the thing is, no, because I haven't given him anything, to do with us. That's what I mean.
That makes
From
sense.
our end, he's just been sucking up to us. You get what I'm saying? The second he joined Cyprus, I made him sold most of his properties and gave us some. Because I hate people that you remember me and you talked about it? I hate hoarders.
Wait, you did?
Bro,
how does he have 6 properties then?
Because when he joined Cyprus, he had like 15, buddy.
Oh, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's why I talked to you about the hoarding stuff back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are like this. That's why, like, when they join Cyprus, I try to at least try my best to get him shaped up.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay, we will come back to you by tomorrow, most likely, and
Appreciate
handle it, buddy.
All right.
If you want to come to Manchila, we're doing this. People are doing this event.
Easy. I'll come through.
Perfect. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Oh boy. All right. You know my favorite thing about I'm sitting here, we got justices, we got, legislative authority, and this is the, this thing is the least of my worries at this point. So
isn't that how it always works?
Yeah. Sorry, Sean. I'm sorry for walking away there.
No, it's all good. Just for future proofing's sake, the line that says all new and updated legislation must follow the legislative proposal and approval process.
Yes.
I would just want to add current, so that if it ever changes the name, no one can be like, oh, well, it doesn't have to follow this. So, you know what I mean?
No. Are you saying that no one can contest something that was pre-added or something like that?
No, so just how the line says, all new and updated legislation must follow the legislative proposal and approval process. Because it's naming that legislation that has all that information in there specifically. I would just want to add, so it says, all new and updated legislation must follow the current legislative proposal and approval process. So that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about what is being talked about.
Oh, that it absolutely must follow it. Is that what you're saying?
No, just so that it says current, so that if that ever changes, so if the name of the legislation for the legislative approval proposal and approval process changes, there's no debate on what that line is talking about. It's just whatever the current process is for legislative proposals and approvals.
I think I understand. So you don't want the actual title of the legislation in there. So in the event the title changes,
yeah. Just putting, just adding current.
I don't see that as an issue, and it's for a very, very simple reason. It's because it's not capitalized, so it doesn't read like a title to me. It just reads like the English vernacular there.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want anybody to even.
Yeah, I know. Somebody could be a pain in the ass about that in the future.
I think that, and I think whether it's something small like this due to a, let's say, editorial issue, or something that's a little bit broader, I love that we are talking about it. But I would say the next step, even I don't even think we should necessarily, and please stop me if you think that I'm wrong or whatever, is that, you know what, Sean, you should write up a bill anyways with it, with that exact thing. And then we just decide post facto. You know what I mean? I think that is kind of I know I'm kind of hashtag adding these bills we put in, but it's a great, that's what the great thing about the bill is. Real simple. Hey, we should do this so there's no confusion. And it's a quarter of a page. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then that way, it cuts the conversation into a yay or nay. You know what I mean?
For sure. But yeah, on to address that audit specifically, we just gotta have an internal talk and then vote about it, and then we'll go from there.
Hell yeah.
And then with the Marshall's DOC, I'm not really sure how to go forward with that.
As a consequence of us still waiting for the feds.
So yeah, we're just kind of all
right, chat. We are switching over to Kick.
We're just kind of
head on over. I'll see you over there. If you haven't been there before, do it now. Check it out.
That we're just gonna
and let me know what you think. I will see you there. For those only sticking around on Twitch, love you guys.
So that
I don't see you tomorrow.
It's just detailed what they can
Later,
and can't do. And it's
boys.
legislated so that no one can say
Later,
they don't have the
guys.
power.
Love you. Okay.
I think that is the general idea, but we're just kind of waiting for confirmation before we pull the trigger on that.
Sorry, run that back. What?
So I think the idea of that legislation, when speaking with the governor, is that like they would have like their own separate legislations that kind of flesh out like what they can and can't do, just basically legislation to empower them so they have their own stuff. But we're still waiting to hear back on the steps forward that we're supposed to do for that.
You mean like that they will be self-governing is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Essentially as it is now, but just two separate pieces of legislation, more fleshed out to.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't think it should be two separate pieces of legislation since we're trying to limit the amount of documents. I would go as far as saying that the definitions for I personally think for there should be a document for law enforcement, whether it's marshals, whether it's DOC, et cetera, and cut them into articles, right? Because why separate it, right? Like
yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think again, just with that, we're just waiting to hear back and make sure everything is good and moving forward from there.
Okay. Hell yeah.
What else is up still? I did get the marshals are working on the second writ that you had for the Mason-Dixie stuff.
Yes.
And again, I do want to apologize for the delay on that. That just completely slipped my mind, and then I saw that when I was reviewing the docket, and I was like, oh shit, I need to properly let them know to deliver this for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that'd be really good. I think public deserves to know. There's still officers today that are completely in the dark. I think the criminal code stuff is probably ready for sign-offs. Like, I think all of them have since been submitted. We've been kind of holding back on like penal code bills, right? For removing some charges. For example, like we are in agreement with, like, for example, there was like the removal of the off-road penal code charge, right? We've held back on pushing those forward until all the criminal code stuff is in place. Just so it's not confusing for us and the public, right? If some of the criminal code stuff was up and then the bills are coming in, so like, in other words,
100%.
we did the rollback. We'll have the criminal code all posted, and then it's like now the penal code slowly getting updated. There are a couple things that like we've internally sort of started to checklist on things that need to be revisited. For example, there's like the VAF legislation, right? Which there's an updated copy of. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Where there's a bit of an internal review I'm doing to make sure other interest groups, aka other people in the city, are good with the VAF stuff, so it doesn't get contested. The TLDR of it being like, what do you call it? That it's going to be a point system that falls off. There is going to be technical update backing to support it, from my understanding, but that's probably going to be cooked and ready to go in a week, I'm hoping. But then for more specific, like individual penal code charges, things like the off-road vehicle, driving an off-road vehicle without a helmet or whatever the fuck, those things will probably, post up like for removal. There's been discussion on expanding for taking in the criminal code robbery, putting in a section in there that describes in words like what exactly is an umbrella charge and what is it for, right? And say, for example, you got you've got like robbery of a financial institute, right? That verbiage can then be reduced to it is, blah, blah, blah. This falls under high security like the umbrella or whatever the fuck phraseology it is. But then what that umbrella is, everything that it entails, blah, 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 will be fully documented in the legislation. So it's removing a lot of the confusion for law enforcement and for people, right?
Yeah, you want to get away from it basically being so fucking impenetrable that it ends up being, word of mouth SOPs internal with the PD so people understand what that is. Because then the people facing that charge never really understand what the fuck it entails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, for the course of justice, your average individual facing that charge needs to understand what they're facing.
Exactly. So how is there anything that y'all need from us to get that we have criminal code stuff there waiting for sign off from you guys? I think it's ready, right? It got submitted Friday.
Criminal code,
No,
the
yeah,
criminal code for San Andreas offenses involving fraud and deception. I mentioned it to Michael. I tried calling you, but you hung up on me, so I had to put it on the docket instead.
Oh, my apologies.
Unauthorized transaction of medical equipment needs to be reworded to match it. The current penal code. Because that's the old version, which has the per se charge in it, which is not how it was.
Unauthorized. It is illegal. Okay, and then what does it say? Only because this is huge. What I'm trying to look at the difference here.
The old charge has the per se, which they get charged with anything that was involved with the crimes where their equipment was found in.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I think Michael did say that he wrote a new version, I believe, because he sent me the newer version that he wrote. I don't know if he sent that to you or not, so...
It should be. Let me see. Fraud and deception. Looks like it was updated on the 15th. And it's got unauthorized A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh, yeah. It falls under the Outside Ordinary Oops Act. The charges to be utilized. Yes, I will post the updated one right now.
All right. No, I just want to bring that one up too because I don't want it. I don't want to king reverted.
Okay, there we go. Is there so
I'm talking about the new penal code charges, dosage. I apologize. I've just counted how many bills there's going to be on top of this as well. I apologized to the justices.
I mean, for your stuff, it's really easy because I don't have to set up a fucking 3-day timer for your stuff.
If I told you that there might be 13 to 14 pieces.
That's fine.
And most
listen, I am jaded. I went through 150 plus charges. I'm jaded.
I was like, there is also a lot of new charges within those as well. Rewording of charges and other stuff as well, along with rewording of some other stuff too.
So it looks like it's only it looks like everything passed. So I've updated the one that you just pointed out. I think the fraud and deception. Okay, so fraud and deception, offenses against public administration, offenses against public safety, and offenses involving vehicle operation all require a constitutional check. The rest, I believe, Murray, it looks like you have signed off on it. I got to double check those. Give me a sec. Yes. So so it looks like half of the ones that are posted right now are good to go, while the other half need a constitutionality check. And
yeah, I'll do the ones that are missing.
Beautiful. And I think that's all passes the 3-day, right? Friday, 1 p.m.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all those are.
And so that means after this meeting, by end of day today, all the criminal code stuff will be out in will be posted up. There was conversation about how does the public know. Now bear in mind, Moose is the one that brought it up to me, and I do take what he says. You know, I listen to everybody, but I do recognize Moose can sometimes, you know, always be on energy. So I think that we should release like a joint announcement about this. The only channel I can think of that has that access is the DOJ one. And so my question is, how do y'all want to do that? Should we write something up? Do you guys want to write something up? Pretty much to like some kind of thing. I'm feeling like we need
big legislative authority sign off, everybody.
Yeah, like messaging about like, because I've been pretty good about sending state announcements, but the reality is people don't see that and it's not recorded. So maybe something talking about the rollback. Also talking about, you know, the criminal code is now in legislation, kind of just like an intent of why it is. And then maybe a notice of like, hey, if there's a charge in here that's dog shit, tell us, you know, and we'll review it.
Yeah, I mean, like if the mayor's office is combined and Perry want to put something together, I'm sure we'd be willing to facilitate and sign off at the end, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Also, with that, speaking of state announcements, I know we talked about this internally about repurposing the state announcement like document, because everybody can see state announcement reports. So we were thinking that could be used like for all the legislative authorities. So like when you do a state announcement, you make a state announcement report, and then you'll just throw it in there so that anybody who can go to the MDT at City Hall and say, this is whatever the state announcement was. Like when you put it out, you're putting up a report as well. So that if anybody missed it, they can go to City Hall and look at it. Because otherwise that report type doesn't get used at all, and everybody can see it, and I think it'd be good for
transparency reasons. Like this kind of combined joint big internal DOJ announcement, that'd be good to put there too.
I agree. I like that. I mean, today I write my announcements in a notepad because I know I have to send it a couple times, and this saves my life as well. Because I put it in once and then can post it multiple times.
Yeah, but I think that'd be good for that, and then even for we were tentatively
Chat, you looking cute?
When like stuff gets posted to City Hall, just putting it in there.
Chat, give me a one if you're new to Kick.
Posted today, and then signed by whoever, and then it has like just the whole legislation or the bill in there, so people can look at something in the city to see.
Can we use the clerks for that? Can the clerks make those?
I think that's a good question. Actually.
Oh, is it its own document?
Can you make state
he has City Hall permissions though.
Yeah,
I can go sign in to county clerk.
Yeah, because if clerks can make those, like further giving them things to do.
I know never my life has been threatened the last 48 hours, so feel free to keep chatting about it. I do agree with it. Oh, God damn it, I hung up.
Your point you made there, Grayson, there's a lack of things for...
Yes.
We issue...
I hit the wrong button. God damn it, chat, we're dead!
Fishing and hunting these days. And other than, you know, giving the odd call to new people in town and showing them around and, you know, giving them the odd favor here or there, like, we don't really do much else in like a day-to-day in terms of like...
It's a little administrative work, but like, you know...
Yeah, administrative
yeah.
And then kind of giving them that, like, this is what you can push to people. And so I'm like, hey, in the MDT over here, there's state announcements with stuff that's been happening recently.
I think it'd be good for them to give some purpose towards the role. Like, I know Helios is recently... Did you hire Helios, Sean?
Yeah.
I know he's been hired recently, right? And he's probably going to be feeling like what do I do? Do you know what I mean? Like, so just giving that role a bit more of a new purpose after Princess took away, you know, a big part of it, I think would be beneficial.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be good for them. And plus, they're a good mechanism for getting state announcements out as well, because they can do state announcements. And then kind of giving them that direction of,
chat,
hey,
what else? Bro, I don't even
out,
fucking...
you could put it out.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Call again, unknown
But yeah,
number.
I do like the concept of repurposing that state announcements thing, because that's like the only document where you like everybody can see even without any permissions.
But if we take the clerk role as, you know, the mouthpiece of the DOJ, like when we hire people like Junior, it's because they talk to fucking everybody, right?
Yeah,
if they're pushing, hey, look, did you see this? Did you see that? You know, that state announcement that went up. If you missed it, by the way, you can go to the MDT in City Hall and find it. Like, it just provides more purpose.
Yeah,
100%.
I do apologize. There's like a million things I also want to bring up, and I am fucking cooked. Fuck people that come and do your lawn at 7 a.m. Say that much.
You gotta love that.
Jesus.
Is anyone taking notes, by the way? Okay.
I have stuff relative to what we have to do, not just general
okay.
notes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to I'm only asking just because I had this worry creep through my mind. I'm like, what if I forget all this like tomorrow? State announcement.
Yeah, so I think the state announcement thing, a good way to launch that would be with this big announcement with the penal code stuff. Because like in the DOJ announcement, we can include in there letting them know that future reference state announcements will be posted.
I am so
in the MDT under the state announcement
back
category,
to back Gardner days.
And if you ever miss a state announcement, you can go in there and check to see if you missed anything.
Okay, easy.
I don't want to detract to it. Do we want to make the judges and the magistrates make a copy of any court announcements they make there too?
Nah, not court announcements.
Yeah, kind of. Just checking.
Yeah, because those are like time sensitive, where it's like state announcements usually they need to be up for a while, and it needs like a wide audience to grab it.
Are we getting Neo to the next auction?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just remembered. This is a big one. In regards to the VAF thing, we're gonna do something a little bit different. VAF is very contested, right? But there's this new legislation is very good for everybody, but rumor runs San Andreas. So I want to post up that VAF legislation without it necessarily going into the contest period, so as to let people provide their feedback. Right now, obviously, there's always going to be some people that have singular individualistic opinions, but it's a means to say, hey, this is a big change that affects everyone, law enforcement, civilians, felons, everybody. So
kind of give them that option to say, go to who you trust and let them know what you think about it.
Well, absolutely. Now, what I'm looking to do is on City Hall, I'm planning, once I do the internal review of it, is I want to post it up with a kind of a TLDR at the top. The TLDR will not be a part of the VAF legislation, but kind of is like here's kind of the, introduction, or like Zoomerified bullet points, right? VAFs now fall off. Like, hey, different levels of VAF points, blah, blah, blah.
Someone who can make like a Minecraft parkour video that you can put it over.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, honestly, maybe even Junior, Michael, and like the rest of the cabinet, like, maybe we even put a fucking video together. Who knows? But in conjunction to this, we had already planned to do this. We had discussed about getting opinion polls out, and my office is looking to do more of it. We had Sinai put a poll together, and we're looking to do it like maybe every week, every 2 weeks or whatever. And we're looking to use the ballot boxes to do it. At the end of the poll is actually a question that says, do you support the proposed VAF legislation? Now, the beauty of this is people can yap all day. But you know what matters? When they actually go and put in their opinion. So, is anyone here concerned? Well, we want to go use that ballot box to put this poll up. Is there any concerns about that or any sort of SOPs or like, how do we, let's talk about it. This is obviously Los Santos County specific, but, concerns, problems, don't want to see it, whatever it might be. Let's, I want to open that little door up.
My only immediate concern is pulling the results of that requires a certain amount of like state level engagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to turn that into an everyday thing where they get pissed, right?
These are going to be, and that's understandable. And I think getting that, like, I'd like to put this first one up and see how that goes. Even if it takes us a little bit to get an answer for it, we're cool with that. I don't want to put unnecessary burden pressure on anyone. I do think this has very high value to everyone in the city. This very first poll is actually getting satisfactory ratings on the departments. It's getting, it's a very PD focused one. And the goal of this is, once again, people can share their opinion, but polls matter. And in order to drive people to this poll/census almost, is it's not only getting people to put their opinions in, but at the end of it, asking a question about the legislation. And I think that's going to draw us very important conclusions that we otherwise cannot get. For example,
I think the data might be more important than what you'd get out of a town hall, but are you going to do town hall too?
Absolutely. Yes. That is coming. It's going to be a conjunction sort of thing. So both are going to both are going to happen. Okay, I didn't mean to say conjunction. Both are going to happen, but I think they both serve like two separate sort of purposes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So.
No, yeah, I think it's like, I think we've talked about it before, and like the polls, I think it's a good idea, and it'll be good information as well.
Absolutely.
It's just that, like Grayson said, it can be, even for our 3-month election, it can be kind of like, are we going to get this on time or?
Understandable. I think internally, I'm going to propose something that if we're looking to put a poll up, we will let you know in advance. We can put up the poll ourselves. I do have access to the thingy to, so you don't have to worry about like having to, punch it in unless you'd like to punch it in yourself. I leave that to you. I don't mind. I think it's probably good anyways. And then I would run it for 7 days. And finally, once it's concluded, I could let, one of y'all know then, when we get the results, we get the results. You know what I mean?
I think that'll be good.
Okay. Easy. Hell yeah. I'm trying to remember. Trying to check my notes. Anything else?
I don't want to be that guy. Do you think enough people will go to the polls?
I think if you tell them, and
I think
if you put something out and say, give your thoughts on the posted VAF legislation that's in the state announcements document, then that goes in along with the DOJ announcement that we do, I think a lot of people are going to go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and
here's
I mean,
what
we
I'd
can.
say. I just say that, like, I know even with the turnout of the smallest legislative amendments we've done in the past, we've still had like about 70 votes on those, 70 to 100. I think if you're giving people the opportunity to express their opinion, you're going to get more than that. So, about putting it up, it like constitutionally it says the DOJ should be the mechanism for public ballot measures. I think that's as close as you're going to get right to like what it says legislatively about who should do it.
Yep. I agree. I mean, that's why we actually put the bait in there. We said, hey, we need information that people don't realize we need, like satisfactory ratings, et cetera, et cetera. This time it's PD. The next one, because we didn't want to put too much in there, is when Sanaya and I spoke about it, Asini spoke about it. We said we don't want to put too much in there, but at the end of it, it should be something hyper relevant that makes people want to go and do it. And so not only are we able to get the information that we know we need, that the people don't recognize why we need it, but there's that little prize at the end, because people come through and they're like, yo, fuck this VAF shit. I mean, we need to know that. You know what I mean? Better that than spend the next fucking extra 2 months going and dealing with contests and shit. So
yeah, no, I think it'd be good to get those polls going, and then have that the written announcement about the penal code, and then state announcements being in the state announcement section, and then people can look at like that VAF legislation as a state announcement as well, and letting them know, hey, the poll's up, give your thoughts on the VAF legislation along with some other stuff.
Yep, 100%.
So that's in those DOJ announcements. We'll do state announcements in the city every few hours or so, and like make it a recurring thing so that it happens, and people around the clock will be voting and giving their opinion.
Yeah, and if there's going to be a city hall, just pushing it there as well.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. There's other shit that we probably need to discuss that I genuinely, I've been dealing with so much this week. It's probably escaped me, but it's probably not anything that we couldn't, poke you guys at like later if it comes to mind.
It's not like we're not around.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a public, there was the situation yesterday. That shit's fucking, I like the ultimate conclusion we came to, Falconer.
If you're going to talk about this, I don't know anything about it. I'll walk out.
No, I'm not going to go deep.
Okay, cool.
Just like, I think in general, and I'll give my position, and I don't want to impose this opinion on everybody, but I think we should not, and if we need to legislate it, it might be good for our own safety, is that panics and public freakouts and riots and shit, I personally think there should be a standard, because I think we should not be afraid of letting the public know there is any sort of danger under the pretense that they may not I don't know how to put this in words.
Yeah, is it the thing we talked about where it's like,
if there is a nuclear bomb and they decide to go to the nuclear bomb site,
that's on them.
That shouldn't be our problem.
Yeah.
Because the people that aren't going to, find potentially put themselves in harm's way should not suffer as a consequence. Maybe that should be legislated. You know what I mean?
If we tell people don't go to this place because your life will be in danger, and then they decide to go, that's on them.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that would help, like with situations like that as well. Like if it involves police activity, putting the announcement out. Like, sure, it might draw people in, but like putting the announcement saying, like, hey, if you're going into the zone, like you're putting yourself at risk and you could be arrested.
I don't even. I think that's not it, because people be like,
if they're
"Oh,
getting
who cares?"
involved, it's going to be a problem.
Depends.
I think this is such a tough one. It is not our job. Well, God damn it. Sorry, this is it's hard to find the right phraseology for what I want to express. The fear of arrest, I feel like, people should not be putting themselves in a position where they may die, right? And if they do as a consequence of us putting out a warning, that it should not be our issue. I think the arrest may not be enticing enough. I'm going to go as far as saying that if somebody goes into an area that is, and I'm not talking about like a gang shooting, right? That's self-resolving. But like if there was, let's say, a nuke, right? Let's use the most extreme example. And law enforcement is having to deal with that situation, or military or whatever. And people go there voluntarily and interject themselves. I personally would not be opposed to them being like us saying like you might be thrown up for a hold or some shit, like whatever that charge might look like. Like I'm on that kind of energy, to be honest. Like if someone's
There's an argument to be made there, right? Because the reality is what they're doing, if they're interfering in like an emergent situation, they are destabilizing our abilities to perform emergency duties, right? As a state.
Well,
I think
that's
at that
not the
point,
part
there are
where
arguments.
it's about people putting themselves in danger when they should be valuing their life.
You know, that's what I wanted to say, but I was trying to find a different way. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. That's the problem. I like that idea. Like, I genuinely do.
What Nina's saying, though, because I think that should be some sort of hold charge where, hey, like if you're going into somewhere where we're saying don't go because it's unsafe, like gotta throw you in a drunk tank or something. Like
it's called a plane to the Bahamas.
Yeah, and that's exactly. There's like it's like a two-parter, right? One is like it feels like it's a situation that's like beyond us, but simultaneously, for what is in our control, if there is a circumstance that presents itself where people just going there because they're fucking dumb as shit, and
or involved
interfering, that I am not opposed to it being a mental or a nines hold until we figure out what the fuck to do with them, right? And now that would need strong criterion. And maybe it's something as simple as, you know, a topic we've discussed before, like in that space of state of emergency where, you know, there's a couple of us put the key in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If like 2 out of 4 legislative authorities agree.
Hold works.
Yeah.
Like
they can send them up. Where's Justice Coop when you need it?
Yeah,
no. I get passionate about this.
Mad. I was like, just because you're mad, the Coop is not here. What the hell? It's not a thing.
It's not only
it could be something like an investigative hold, right? Where you're just kind of keeping idiots out of the danger zone if they're going in there to be stupid.
Yeah,
and you lock them up, and then once the danger is transpired, then we could talk about. I mean, there could be penalties for them, or it could literally just be we're holding them and then we'll release you when the danger's over.
Absolutely that. I know that there is historically some fear surrounding us, as there was the situation like 10 years ago, as an example, right? Where there was a secession attempt in Sandy Shores. I'm sure I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase, there was no war in Sandy Shores.
There was. I had to deal with all of that. It was a shit show.
Yes. It's that sort of circumstance where I think has kind of created this fear of like, what if people do this? And it's like, bro, if you're doing that, like, you know, honestly, I don't know. There should be levels of shit. Like, you go there, you're fucking shot on sight. Don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't even know.
Specifically with that one, so we put out state announcements that day telling people don't go there, don't get involved. If you get involved, if you're involved, if you go there trying to provide medical anything, you will be arrested. Balto Connolly was an EMS. He went there that day to provide medical. He got charged for treason. He went to jail.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Man, I remember the fallout of that is like, oh, but I didn't know. Get the fuck out of here.
Everyone tried that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't fuck with that shit, to be honest.
Plea deals for treason in relation to that. Yeah, it happened.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I do think that's something that can be workshopped. Where it be a charge or just like we're literally just allowing the police to hold them in custody until the danger is transpired.
Yeah. I also want to make sure when we do have time to go down this route to iron it out, is that it provides enough protections for law enforcement to sorry, 1 second. That they don't get fucked because they put someone in cuffs that was interfering, and now that person in cuffs just got shelled. You know what I mean?
You basically what we're going to need is we're going to need a big state of emergency provision laid out in like the due process legislation that allows for certain, removal of certain rights at that point.
Agreed.
If a state of emergency is announced, then
yeah.
And then kind of outlining what is required for a state of emergency, like Nino said, like
all of those
who are the
things,
four authorities turning the key.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I see.
Turner, let me call you back. I'm in a DOJ meeting.
No rush, no worries.
All right. Okay, so
Bye-bye.
okay. Anything else we got to discuss? I'm sure there's things I missed, but like go ahead.
I'll say one of my bills that I was just talking about. I want your guys' opinion on this before I pull the trigger on it, even though I really want to do this. What's everyone's opinion on felony amounts of oxy? Splitting the pharmaceutical charge into 2 charges. One's felony, one's misdemeanor.
I
mean,
think
it would
that
make it so
inherently
that-
makes sense.
Yeah, it would mean that oxy could be trafficked, because legally you can't traffic oxy now.
With the pharmacy stuff, because it's in relation to the pharmacies as well. Because I'm on the final steps of that as well. Actually, 3 businesses have been approved for pharmacists to sell oxy and transport oxy to their business. What's the word I was looking for?
So have you got numbers in mind?
Numbers in mind right now?
Like what's misdemeanor?
Any amount right now.
Yes, but if it's been split, then obviously misdemeanor is going to have the upper limit, right?
Because I mean, misdemeanor would most likely be anything I would say under 10? Question mark? No, not 10. What right here? Like, what do you guys think it would be a misdemeanor amount for somebody to carry around?
I do not have a number since I don't do oxy, but I believe that whatever that amount is should be based on truly understanding how much someone may personally use versus what kind of makes sense, because there's kind of a problem here, right? Is maybe 5 is reasonable for people to carry. Maybe 10 is. I don't know. I'm just generic number I'm coming up with.
I was gonna say,
And-
like for our prescriptions, like prescription wise, we say like 6, I believe, on the person on their person at that time.
Yeah, it's like the
Try and
difference
keep some
between
consistency.
absolutely. It's like there's like how much you got, and then there's like, well, if you have this amount, it's not personal use. Like obviously, but there's also that fine line of like, if it's too much, that's how much people are gonna intentionally sell at. You know what I mean? Like so like let's say hypothetically it was 10, right?
Yeah.
That if it's like maybe people reasonably are carrying 10, reasonably in the sense that I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. People get into shootouts, they're holding 10, they're gonna eat it themselves, personal amount, right? But even while that may be true, 10 may also be still too high in the sense that 10 is enough to sell in increments of 10, right? I don't know. I personally do not. I would not be comfortable setting a number. I think that, I would talk to people and law enforcement, even maybe even get access to what a hypothetical oxy bust has looked like, right? And what is that kind of like, have they had busts where someone had like 25, 30, 40? You know what I mean? And
Yeah, Nino's got a point. I'd talk to
Yeah.
PD and I'd ask about arrests. I'd ask about what the standard amount random people are found with, and I'd ask about the big ones, the biggest. Because like if you said like if the idea of felony or for trafficking cases you're looking for like say 30 pills, and no one's ever been found with more than 20 on their person, why? You know, you're setting standards no one's ever going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all good. I'm just adding that to my notes. Alrighty. But yeah, on that note, 3 pharmacies, 2 in Los Santos County and 1 in Blaine County have been approved. I just need to get it marked on their civilian profiles and let PD know where they are for them. But I think I will need to talk to you after this, Nino, about something else. But I think that's most.
Just a quick look, in the last week, there's been 50 incident reports with someone being charged with pharmaceutical drug without a prescription.
Oh, well.
And that's
a lot of drugs.
That's just incident reports. That's not counting multiple people that may have been charged in one incident.
Are you able to search by? How did you search that? Like, is that
we can filter by incident reports that contain a certain charge.
Wait, is that a judge specific?
PD can do it.
What?
Yeah.
That is actually a cracked.
It's how Barrett figured out like the ramp up in class 2s. That's how he did it.
Oh my. This actually makes me sad knowing that exists and then looking at how in shambles things have been on that front. Is holy fuck.
Again, search for incident reports involving fraud, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh my god.
9 ever.
Please, you know, if there's any, you know, detectives and shit that, you know, you see X or otherwise, you know, maybe, you know, like, maybe they don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Right. That is fucking crazy.
Fraud was one of the easiest, like, so open to just charging people with.
I mean, you know, you're wondering, you can search by who made the report, who is tagged as an officer involved, charges, any tags that are on the report,
holy
the criminal
fuck.
involved, and any citizens involved.
I've been going to every PD meeting. This is not even like, none of that shit has ever been brought up.
I'll say even when I've been there, it's not been brought up.
Yeah.
They need to hire more nerds.
There's been 6 riot charges ever.
That's insane. In regards to actually the embezzlement and shit, that is an area that I know Michael and I spoke about exploring, as that area, like fraud and stuff, there should be levels to it. And I think we discussed something along the lines of like expanding it so it's like, yeah, you get hit with fraud 500, but it's rather clear that that's what I wanted to bring up. Yes, we are going to be exploring the notion of enhancement charges. So you could get hit with fraud, but then it can get enhanced based on the level of fraud. And and this kind of, to give you to provide a better example of what that means is,
okay, 1 second, I'm gonna call.
There's like possession of marijuana, and then there's like felony intent to distribute. It's got a very subjective definition, but instead that should be staged. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the Oxy conversation, right? That it's like there are barriers and lines that if crossed, it makes it worse. But the possession charge inherently should be separate from like the actual transactional nature of the crime, right? Like if, right, like a shelf of cocaine is illegal, but a shelf of cocaine that I am found trying to offload to someone should be 2 charges. if that offloading is taking place to a foreign country that we have like sanctions with, that should be a third charge. And I think sort of drugs maybe and fraud is probably the area we want to first like sort of explore this notion. And I think it's going to make things a little bit more interesting and beneficial for everybody, right? So it'll help those that, I guess, on the criminal side, like in the sense that like, hey, they got caught with a bunch of shit, but if PD can't prove other than the possession, then it should just be the possession. But if they're going and selling shit to like, I don't know, the you know, it's importing fentanyl from the Chinese government, well, that might be, you know, fucking treason, fucking money laundering, da 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 da. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's definitely a good avenue to explore.
I hate to do this, but I have a previous commitment I've got to go hit right now.
You're good.
I have a meeting with a fly-in, so I've got to go talk to this person.
Wait, Coop is here?
No, it's not Coop. It's but it is a wanted felon.
Oh, Den Shiesty.
Wait, I want to be there for that.
I've got a meeting downstairs with Denzel Shiesty.
I may, gentlemen, unless I cannot go, I may need to.
You can come if you want to come, Nino. Anyone's
anything else, gentlemen?
You can come pile on.
No, I have
all
no
right.
opinion on Denzel.
Hell yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
I'll come too, even because I want to talk to you after it, Nino.
Yes, absolutely.
I've got like 5 people on school back, but it's gonna be fun just because it's Den. Den
Yeah,
used to
he's
arrest
been-
me.
he's
Fuck,
been-
when I was
I
back
was
in
like-
the day.
He's been dodging, so this is gonna be entertaining.